Well, hello, y'all, and welcome to the latest BOFASports Shortie. Ooh, my voice is not that good today, but work with me. But I am your host, Charles Taylor, for today's episode, and I am here to discuss the "it's business" quotation or statement or phrase or whatever you want to call it. And I'll bring it back to the sports element when it comes to one of the trades that happened in the NBA in just a moment. But before I do that, think about any time you might have been at a job or you're doing some sort of a deal with somebody and things might fall off from that deal. And because things fell off, the person you are working with, or maybe you're the one who's breaking it off, but for whatever reason, it falls apart. And to separate any type of emotion or any type of personal animosity, that person, or maybe it's you, says, "Oh, it's just business. We have to go ahead and make some moves in the interest of business." Here's why that statement is BS, basically. Because when you are deciding whether or not to do business with somebody, sorry, Kobe, if I got in the way of the Mamba mentality poster here, but if you are doing business with anybody, you're not going to do that unless you trust them to some extent. That means you're going to have to talk with them. That means you're going to have to get to know them to some level on the personal side. Because if you can't build that trust, if you can't decipher whether or not the person you are talking to in terms of getting into business activities is reliable, you're not going to do business with that person. It just doesn't happen, or at least in the normal world, it doesn't. But whatever normal is. But you're going to have those conversations to decide whether or not you want to invest time and or money or both into said person. It happens in any walk of life. So now you decide things are good enough to where I can do business with somebody because I have developed a rapport. I have developed a certain amount of trust to say I can do business with that person. That did not happen without you having those conversations, sitting down in a comfortable setting, finding out about whoever it is. That takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to try to get to know some other aspects besides the business part. So then you're doing business with somebody, everything is good, and then something happens. Maybe the performance isn't what you thought it would be, or they did something that just broke the trust. And then you decide everything is done. And then you'll go and say, well, we're doing this because of business. No, no, no. Now, after after that happens, after that breakup happens, now there's personal animosity, and a person is hurt. If that person is the one who feels like they're betrayed, they're hurt. Yeah, it's business, but your feelings got invested into that person in some way, shape, or form, and you feel hurt. You feel betrayed. And that's not a business thing, really. That's something with your personal feelings. And this relationship could be anywhere. It could be 6 months. It could be years. It could be 5, 10 years, 20 years, just depending on how long a person has been there. But the the notion that you're making this decision just based off of business it's not true, really. Yeah, that might be part of the reason. Of course, you don't want to continue to do something if you're not getting ROI or return on investment. But you're making that change because you don't feel you were getting what you had signed up for. That hurts a little bit, especially when you decide that you have to go ahead and cut bait with somebody. Now, maybe that person deserved it, but if you really had a good feeling about them and things didn't work out, of course you're going to feel a little bit broken up about it. It's okay to feel a little bit hurt, to feel a little bit vulnerable about it. I understand that's why a lot of people say it's just business because they want to take all of the emotion out of it. They want to take all of the personal feelings that may be involved. And everybody wants to act like they're Teflon, like nothing bothers them. We all know that's far from the case. But that brings me to one of the trades in the NBA that had happened last week. Now, we'll get into the particulars of the Jaylen Brown trade in terms of what it means for the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers probably tomorrow evening during the webcast. But put yourself in Jaylen Brown's position for a little bit. He had played his whole career with the Celtics, and he has been the subject of many a trade rumors. And I think now it probably just got to the point where enough is enough. And if he's continuing to be in these trade rumors, maybe he came in there, and I don't know this for any fact or anything that has been reported, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Jaylen Brown went into the Celtics front office and said, you know what, man, just go ahead and trade me. I'm tired of being in these rumors, and I come to work every day. I play at a high level. We won a championship back in 2024. My co-star Jason Tatum got injured for or at the end of 2025, that playoff run. And I came back for this past season and I played at a all-star level, like perhaps an MVP level for most of that year before Tatum was able to come back. Yet I'm still in the middle of these trade rumors. The Celtics were rumored to be in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes before ultimately the Miami Heat were the ones who acquired him. And that I wouldn't be surprised if that was the last bit. That was the last straw. He said, I'm through. Just go ahead and trade me. And again, we'll get into what it means on a team standpoint, on a sports standpoint later on this week. But I think, look, if you think Jaylen Brown is not going to want to dog walk the Celtics every single time they play from here on out, you're out of your mind. He's going to want to show why he should probably still be a Celtic and what the Celtics are missing going forward. You don't be there for 10 years and say, oh man, I'm not worried about it. You spent 10 years of your life. You matured there at a place, in this case, Boston. You grew as a player. You've seen a lot and you won a championship there. There's way more than just business going on with that. And I think it's time for people to stop using that cop out to explain things. Things are personal and it's okay to acknowledge as much. Well, that's what I'm breathing on for today. Y'all make sure y'all visit the BOFASports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the BOFASports Facebook page if you haven't already. Like I said, we will do a webcast tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening, and we hope to see y'all there along with Patrick and myself. And me, sorry. So until then, everybody take care. Have a good Monday and enjoy the World Cup.